Child support is not a weapon. There's a meme that I've seen on Facebook over the last week, and it says, child support is for non active fathers, not failed relationships. And there are so many fallacies in this post. So I guess you could say that the first fallacy is child support is not for fathers at all. Child support is for children. And child support was originally created in the court system by a court system that was 85% male. So this 85% male system felt that it could not be left up to men to take care of their kids without being monitored, without having a level that was set that the man had to meet to be considered in compliance and be considered taking care of his kids. Because if you think about children, it costs money to raise children. You can't raise a child without food, without clothing, without shelter, without some way to transport them to the things that they need to get to, without medicine, without doctor's visits. These are things that are going to happen, are going to be needed on a regular basis. And that's just a few of the things. That's not even mentioning toys and field trip money and lunch money and all this other stuff that comes along with kids, birthdays and Christmas and all the stuff, right? All this stuff costs money. The mother that has the child cannot walk up to the grocery store and say, "Hey, my child's father is active, so I want to pay for these groceries with his activity, with his presence." No, she has to bring funds to pay for whatever that child needs. So his activity does not equate to dollars and cents. And so basically, to think that child support is a punishment is to basically say that when a father leaves the woman's life, he doesn't have any responsibility to those children. He only had a responsibility to those children when he was benefiting from the mother. And now that he's not benefiting from the mother, from her attention, from access to her, then she's responsible for these kids. And if he feels like helping beyond his presence, then that's his option. And child support says, no, it's not an option. We're going to set a certain amount that we feel is reasonable. Now, from my research on child support, in most states, it's not even 50% of what it costs to raise a child. I did a meme the other day, and it was talking about how, in most cases, what the man was paying was about 25% of what it costs to raise the child, leaving the mother with 75%. So if the man was really willing to take care of his child, he wouldn't be complaining about child support, because in most cases, child support is a bargain. It frees him up from having to pay the full 50% that he really is responsible for. And the fact that any man is complaining about it means that he really didn't want to do it, didn't feel it was a priority, didn't feel it was his job or his responsibility. He feels like if he shirks, if he doesn't do his job, the mother will take up the slack. She'll handle it. She'll make sure everything gets done. And, there was a person that commented and said, what about times when he's struggling? What about the months when he's struggling? When the mother is struggling, she has to figure it out. She has to figure out a way to make ends meet, make sure that that kid is taken care of. So why is she the only one that has to figure it out? Why isn't he the one who also has to figure it out? So once again, child support is for the child. It's not for the convenience of the father. It's not going to be replaced with the father's presence. Custody and child support are determined separately. One doesn't replace the other. So they are both part of the divorce decree. And the amount of child support is not reduced by a man saying, hey, I go to baseball games and volleyball games and I watch him, play football. I come to his birthday parties. Child support is not reduced based on any of that. So we have to stop thinking that the responsibility of the child is the mother's and that we need to applaud a father being active and reward him, even to the extent of rewarding him with him not being asked to pay child support, because that's really what this is saying. It's saying there's bad fathers out there. There's uninvolved fathers out there. There's deadbeat dads out there. So the ones that are not those things, they need to be rewarded for doing what a parent should do. They should be rewarded by not having to pay child support. But the mother doesn't get that reward. She has to pay for those children every single time that they need something paid for. She has to make sure it's handled. But we're supposed to give a good behavior pass to the dad because he's active, because he's involved, and therefore he doesn't have any financial responsibility. It's crazy. So we need to stop grading on this very skewed curve where women are responsible for 100% and we applaud men for doing anything and we want to give them rewards for doing anything, because the kids are going to have the same financial needs regardless of whether he's doing something or not doing something. Therefore, he still needs to pay child support because it's not about him. And that's what this post doesn't seem to understand. It is not about his convenience. It is not about his presence. It is not about his activity. It is about the child having what the child needs to be healthy, to be successful, to be taken care of. And we need to stop focusing on men or on non-custodial parents and acting like the child should just go without or suffer, or the mom just, or the, custodial parent just has to figure it out because the non-custodial parent is actively involved. We need to stop with all these excuses and, false standards. May you walk in energy. Child support is not a weapon. There's a meme that I've seen on Facebook over the last